Yes, indeed. It is a big surprise. I know we are not live. We are pre-recorded here in the past, talking about 2024. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3, back once again with my tag team partner every Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. AE Ramble, the best AEW Dynamite review in the land, the man of 56,000 subscribers, the man of all the Yankee fitteds, and the man you go to for your honest criticism of Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling. He is Jimmy Macram.
No criticism today. This is like a report card. There's no need to criticize. This is just the grades you got. No need to talk. That head on home.
I think this is gonna be like your favorite tradition. Like your tradition is doing AE Ramble every week. But I think like your big thing gonna be like, man, I can't wait. You're probably like mid-June next year gonna be like, can't wait for that 2025 report. And I know someday I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes just in case I forget in December.
This is gonna be oh.
But if you read the title, you know what you're here for. Yes, it is our AEW tier list for 2024. Me and Jimmy Macram started the tradition last year for 2023, where we went through every single member of the AEW roster and basically put them in a tier, gave them a grade for their 2024. We go over what they accomplished, what memorable feuds, what memorable promos, matches they had throughout the year. We decide what tier they belong in, and we give you our tier list for the end of the year. I really like what we did last year. I was taking a look at it. I had a lot of fun with that one, and I'm interested to see where people that were at the S tier may fall this year, where people who were below that, who were people who weren't even on the roster, where they're going to land on this list. What do you think? I think you're muted, sir.
My bad.
There you go.
It's been a rather uneven year. I think most of us would agree. We're being polite about it. But there's a few mainstays that aren't going to be touched, I would imagine.
Yeah, like January through August, all things considered, because I know you had your issues at times and you did not like a lot of the elite angle, and rolling the tape was a decision. I would say January through August, I thought that they were a solid. If we're gonna go into letter grades, I would have gave them a solid B to even a B plus, because I was very well pleased with the build to All In and All Out. I thought they handled All Out and the build to that very well by bringing it back a week, and then actually just building it up and kind of making it a kind of A side, B side, kind of like happy ending All In, horrible stuff, people getting suffocated, All Out, people getting super interested about All Out. I thought that was like a great kind of A side, B side, and then I would say September through December, it's like a D, man. It's like us in our senior year of Cardinal Hayes. It's senioritis. We know we already got our college acceptance. We just laid off.
I'm not going to blame anybody outside Tony Khan. I'm not going to blame anybody, but I will say you mentioned the shift at All In, All Out. To me, the shift is we moved away from Swerve, Ospreay, MJF to Dragon and Moxley. I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm just saying it's a coin getting. An interesting one, at the very least. It's a thought.
Yeah, that is true. I was actually thinking about that because I saw somebody do like a video essay talking about how like the first half of the year, and especially like the spring, was all built around the dynasty era, as Swerve put it. The Swerve, the Ospreay, the Okada. Okada was more prominently featured early on in the year when he first came over. Sure. Then you also had MJF coming back at the same time. So you had that kind of youth, those new stars, those stars that really got their prominence in AEW being pushed, and then Okada coming over from New Japan, kind of a new star that they can give to the US audience. And then through I don't know what I think the story of this is going to be even as interesting as the CM Punk behind the scenes stuff that we don't already know, because we already know a lot of the stuff. But I think that this year and what happened between like the summer and the fall is going to be very interesting, because like you said, you could say it, you could go it down to they were building around these young new stars in the first half of the year, and then they decided to go give Dragon his big send off and transition into Moxley the second half of the year. But I think it's something what happened in creative behind the scenes that we don't know.
Oh, I mean, I'd be nice.
Because we had Jimmy, you had a guy like Jimmy Jacobs who's high up on the creative, leave the company at that time. So it's like all of that. There has to be a piece of this puzzle that we don't know yet.
Well, Jimmy Jacobs got fired, released, or whatever.
He left the company amicably.
Oh, he got fired. Okay, so when he got fired, wasn't it leaks that he was the problem? He was responsible for the fucking rankings disappearing and the Jericho stuff. That's what I was told. And yet his release is a perfect time with the demo ball. I don't know what is going on. Maybe maybe Tony Khan.
Maybe it's like he set like a detonation bomb, and he was like,
I'm just saying.
He's like, this shit gonna fall all apart. I better go.
Maybe he's more influential than I thought. Maybe he was the one giving the most pushback to Tony Khan's, we'll call him, his ideas. Maybe he spoke up too loudly. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's safe to say it's not his fault, though, right? You can say that now.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I even with all the blame they were trying to give him, I was like, nah, this goes back to Tony Khan. It's always impacted. It always starts and stops with Tony Khan, and Tony Khan's making like I think that the whole like beginning of AEW, and still you got the grifters online who would be like, oh, Tony Khan, you can't make the mistakes of WCW, or Tony Khan's becoming the new WCW, or making the mistakes of WCW. But really what Tony Khan's doing is he's making the mistakes of Vince
McMahon. In what way would you say?
He's doing too much. He has control of everything. And just that overwhelming power is affecting his ability to be a decision maker. Because he had some wins this year, but his losses and his pettiness and his emotional decisions overweigh some of the big wins that he got for AEW this year.
It's very true. Maybe, I'm not sure if you considered it. Maybe he's considered it at this point. If not, maybe next year. That he's not good at anything. So he should delegate that to somebody else. Well, what is it that I'm talking about? All of that. All of that and anything. Particularly booking. He can do ticket sales or merch or whatever. Like you said, decision making, big picture stuff. You're the CEO. But please, stop writing things down. You're not very good at that at all. No disrespect.
Why do you keep saying no disrespect while disrespecting somebody? I don't understand you.
Disrespect. I mean it. Like if you were going to say, we want the WWE product to be more exciting, if you're Triple H, you have to understand you're not that guy. No disrespect. I like you too, sir, but you're not exciting. You're not exciting guy. You're not a fun guy. You're like I.T. cross guy. That's fine. I want more exciting. So if you had to do competent, Tony Khan's not the guy. Unfortunately, the only guy to get rid of this guy is the guy, which is a poor power structure.
Yeah. It's making me be like, I wish AEW went public, so he wouldn't be
right
overwhelming voting power and all of it.
Please, we need 11 people to get rid of this guy.
Exactly. Not even get rid of this guy. Just give us someone. Just delegate. Like, come on, man. Like, delegate. Delegate something. Jesus Christ. All right.
Wasn't all bad. Wasn't all bad.
No. There was, like I said, I thought a lot of January through, especially like I would say like the best times for AEW in 2024 was January going into Revolution, and then the Forbidden Door going into All In. I think those were the best periods of time for AEW.
I agree. We shall see.
Let's go over this. Let's introduce our tier list for 2024. We're returning with some of our favorites from 2023 with a few adjustments here. We got our S tier, which is our keep at all costs. These are the top of the top, the people that had the absolute best 2024's match quality, promo work, character work, top star, or presented on a high level or a higher level than they've been before. Those are the keep at all costs. Then we got our A tier, which is our main event level talent. So not the top of the top, but definitely had an elevation up the card, had a great year from match quality, from promo work, from character work, presentation, and position on the card. Our all-stars are kind of like our most improved players or our upper mid-card guys. These are the guys that are just below the main event, but they are kind of like hitting at that glass ceiling and about to break through and had that great 2024 that puts them in position to have a better 2025. You got our mid-card guys. So these are people that are above. They are just good, but they are not quite where they need to be as far as an all-star level person, a main event level person. They're good, they're solid, but their 2024 didn't light the world up, but it had some good spots. Then we got our mid, which is what it is. It is the mid. It is kind of the people that just was throughout 2024, kind of just there. They may have had a good spot, but they also had their bad spots or weren't being used. Or, I mean, we could change, if we want to be nice, we could change mid into deserves better, because I think a lot of these people will probably be in that deserves better. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Right. I was just thinking about that because you did give me some kickback on our pre-show interview about mid. He was like, he's kind of mean, and if Jimmy Macram is telling me something's kind of mean, then I know it's really we're gonna go with deserves better instead of mid. Then we got our favorite that we created last year. Niggas always hurt. Because some people on this roster were hurt a lot in 2024. So we don't want to penalize them and say that they need to get off the roster by just being hurt throughout the year. And then we have the people who didn't do anything and probably their contract is not renewed. We're not firing you because we don't do that in AEW, apparently. Wink, wink, apparently. We are just saying your contract is not renewed. You ready for this, Jimmy?
Yes, sir.
First up, this is in alphabetical order. This is put in.
Ooh.
We have Abaddon. We have Abaddon, who really didn't do much as regards to AEW this year. They really saved her what has become the annual Halloween push for Abaddon. They saved it for over in AEW. We'll make this an all-encompassing AEW ROH. It's all the same thing, pretty much. Don't care what they say. And I watch ROH, so I will be the person on that, the point person. She had a good feud, actually, with Athena during the Halloween season, which led into a big street fight between her and Athena. That was absolutely awesome. Kind of like a hidden gem in 2024. But that was kind of it for Abaddon in 2024. She was involved in the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship ahead of Supercard of Honor in April. But other than that, it was a light year in regards to reps for Abaddon. What do you think, Jim? Hearing all
that. Here's where things get interesting. I know we just changed it to deserve better, but I don't know if that's the case.
Should we put a section for mid?
I might have to, because she's about that. I mean, I don't think she deserves better. I don't want to be rude. You got what the best that you could get. Your annual title match, you're an ROH, you're a feature performer. This is about where you should be. I keep hearing she's improved. I hope that's the case. But
sure.
I don't know if I'll take your word for it.
That. I don't know. Did it add? Oh, okay. I put it too many times. I was like, did it add? I was like, what's going on? I didn't see anything. I was like, what's going on here? All right, we're deleting these, and then we'll have our one for mid. Not MILF, mid. let me just change the color here so we have some distinguishing
Ooh.
with all of these. Nick is always hurt. You will be pink. Or should it be red? Do you have red? Okay, we have somewhat closer to red. I think of an ER when I think of red. So Nick is always hurt.
Gotcha.
Red. Even though it's the same. Damn, it's the same color as that. It doesn't matter. All right, Abaddon. Yeah, we're gonna put you in mid. I'm sorry, Abaddon. Well, we fixed with your green. We changed it to green for you.
Take the
Next, we got Anna Jay, who had an improved 2024, despite what my colleague is going to say about her. She did go over to Stardom over in Japan. She appeared in the 5-star Grand Prix, having a pretty good performance over there. Improved enough that she got into an AEW Women's World Title feud with Mariah May, having 3 really good matches between the two women. Coming up with a win, being the first woman to beat Mariah May since she won the Owen Hart Cup and the AEW Women's World Championship. She is currently in a feud with Mercedes Moné. They will face on the AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash. We are recording this before that airs. But Anna Jay was featured throughout the year in various kind of positions, whether it be with the Outcast, with Saraya and Harley Cameron against the threesome storyline of Timeless Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Shirakawa. But I think that she really kind of her year picked up towards the latter half after her visit to Japan. So what do you think about Anna Jay in 2024?
We have deserved better. We should have deserved worse because this is fucking egregious. I am sorry. She got a title feud with Mariah May. She beat Mariah May. On what planet should that happen? And then she's right into a feud with Mercedes. This is what I'll be nice. Mid. If you want to give a little above mid, I'll accept it. But mid is where I'm at. I'm sorry. I've seen no real improvement character-wise. She's still impossibly awkward on the microphone. I assume she's improved in the ring. I'll take you guys' word for it. Mid. Sorry. Mid. She's very pretty.
Next up, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed, longest reigning Ring of Honor Women's World Champion of all time, the forever champion, Athena. Athena, of course, still the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, still running and being the face of Ring of Honor. She's been involved in her whole storyline with Billy Starks being her underling in the Minion MIT, the Minion Institute, and she's been doing that whole storyline leading up to Final Battle, but she's had numerous great matches, whether it be against Queen Aminata, the aforementioned bout against Abaddon. She had a great bout against Hikaru Shida back at Supercard of Honor. She's faced Red Velvet, Lela Hirsh. She's went up and down the roster. She's been tearing it up on the independent scene as well as Ring of Honor. We're still waiting for her to be in AEW because it's about damn time. But I would say Athena, I think we did put her in main event. I think she's an all-star for what she's done in Ring of Honor, or she's probably like the top of deserves better because she should be in AEW.
I mean, if a tree falls in the forest, if a tree falls for 12 months in the forest, but nobody's around to hear it, does it? Or 24 months. How long has it been? This tree falls over and over and over again, and nobody cares.
The longest reigning Ring of Honor champion of all time. She passed Samoa Joe's 645-day reign.
Jesus. So where's she at now? Do
you have the number? At 720, I think.
So she's over 2 years, is what you're telling me.
She's about to hit 2 years at Final Battle, which is coming up. We're recording this before Friday, which is Final Battle.
We can put deserve better if you prefer. That sounds good to me. I mean, I'm not sure if you can be a main eventer in ROH. I'm sorry. Nobody watches ROH. I think them just be the rules. She's putting a lot of great work, apparently, but nobody's seen it. Not even Tony Khan. I think you're the only one who's seen it. Sorry. No disrespect. Keep up the good work. It'll happen for you one day.
I think she's going to come up in 2025. I believe. That's my 2025. I'll make 2025 predictions for AEW on this tier list as well. Athena will be in AEW in 2025.
Here's hoping. Put your kufi on. Stand next to Kate in the fucking black line.
Come on, no, come
Here's
on.
hoping
Why are we
that
doing
things
this? Why are we
go
doing
well
this?
for y'all.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
I don't see Tony Khan and Swerve letting it happen. Good luck to you.
Yeah, can't take him nowhere. Can't take him nowhere. Up next, we got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Baker was out at the beginning of 2024. She made her return at Forbidden Door. Huge pop, huge babyface reaction for Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in Long Island. And when she made her return in Chicago, the follow-up to AEW Dynamite kicked off what was a hot feud going into All In with her and Mercedes Moné over the TBS Championship. Unfortunately, that match at All In London disappointed many people coming out of it, including Mercedes, as apparent from her Monet mag. Britt Baker kind of was used sporadically thereafter, whether it be just a couple of appearances. Looked like she was about to face Willow. I think that was on the anniversary show, and then that got pulled, or Title Tuesday, I believe, and then that got pulled because she got sick, I believe. And then she came back. She made appearance, looked like she was starting a feud with Serena Deeb, and now she's been off television again for about the last couple of weeks. So it's been a up and down, very confusing 2024 with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I just gave you the facts as in regards to her AEW output. That's not withstanding the whole suspension that went down over the summer due to her backstage argument or fight. I don't know how we would put it, with MJF and Alicia Atout this past summer. So it wasn't the best year for Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Very true. Always hurt. Glad you would always hurt. We don't need to discuss any further. Always hurt. You just mentioned right there she was hurt at this part of the year. She hurt at the end of the year. So always hurt. That's it. That's all it. Yeah. That's it. We don't need to discuss it. We don't need to.
I say a bad word, yeah.
She was hurt. Then she came back, set the world on fire with Mercedes. Then a match happened or something, and then she was hurt again. These things happen. These things happen. Such is life.
He said, set the world on fire. You sound like Bibby. we hit that Asian girl from the back, and then you.
Now I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Next up, we have Britt Baker's close personal friend, Deonna Purrazzo, who made her AEW debut in January, coming off kind of a big signing, a big deal on the first episode of AEW Dynamite. She got into a really good feud with Timeless Toni Storm based on their history together back in Japan, living together, being close personal friends, talking about the tattoos and stuff. Some really good stuff on the lead up to Revolution, where they had a pretty decent matchup there. Coming out of Revolution, she got into, I thought, an even better feud with Thunder Rosa, as Thunder Rosa tried to get back into title contention. Thunder Rosa faced Timeless Toni Storm at Dynasty. Deonna Purrazzo got involved kind of by taking care of Mariah May, which led to Thunder Rosa getting upset for getting in her business. This led to Deonna Purrazzo turning heel and then feuding with Thunder Rosa throughout the summer. A lot of the Arlington, Texas tapings for Collision featured Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo tearing it up. Their Texas Death Match to close off to their rivalry, with Thunder Rosa coming off with the win. She took a couple of months off. I believe it was because she was finishing up getting her college degree, and now she's come back into a new group that she's made with Taya Valkyrie called the Vendetta. But unfortunately, that's been mostly featured on Rampage. They've had some vignettes on Collision. So what have you thought about Deonna Purrazzo's 2024 in AEW?
To me, this is a surprisingly, excluding the last couple months, this is like a surprisingly consistent, surprisingly good year. 2 long feuds, but really well done, particularly one Thunder Rosa. Got quite the amount of critical acclaim. Unfortunately, she slipped down the roster a little bit, but hey, what are you going to do? It's a loaded roster if they're all used poorly. What's above deserved better?
Yeah, I was going to say May card for her.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. solid enough year. Like going through it and remembering it, I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking like when I said her name, I was like, maybe deserved better. But then I went through everything. I was like, no, that's a mid card year. It was a good year,
Right?
but nothing nothing like blow us away like all star coming into AEW, but mid card, solid mid card in the women's division.
Utility player, good job.
Yep. Next up, we have Diamante. I'll be short, mostly Ring of Honor. She did have a really great feud and awesome match. Honestly, I would say one of the best women's matches in the U.S. Another hidden gem of the year was Ring of Honor Diamante versus Lela Hirsh in a Texas Death Match at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor in July. Ended with an awesome moonsault off of the ladder by Lela Hirsh, where she broke her wrist. And coming out of that, won the match, couldn't really capitalize on the momentum of that great matchup. So it was really Diamante found herself in a feud with Red Velvet over the Ring of Honor or a women's TV title. Came up short in her quest for the championship, but she's been used better over in Ring of Honor throughout 2024. So I mean, you said whatever counts in Ring of Honor, and nobody knows about it, so I don't know where I would put her. What do you
I have a question. How many fucking Texas death matches have we had this year? I mean, I feel like we've already said that 3 different times. Jesus.
Well, it was Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo in AEW, and Diamante in Ring of Honor.
Apologies.
You're welcome. I try my best, guys.
I mean, I'll let you call it, but that sounds like a really good year. I don't know if it's a good year to put her next to fucking Athena.
I would say probably deserves better. Yeah. She's behind Athena, not next to Athena. Behind Athena.
Right. She's not going to stay there. No disrespect.
Okay, mid.
Well, you can put her in deserve better. Eventually, other people will be up there, and they're going to be in between the two of them, I would imagine.
That's also true. Someone else who I think deserves to be and deserves better is Emi Sakura, one of our low-key favorites over here at AE Ramble. She's only made kind of sporadic appearances. She goes between Japan and AEW, but she's had matches with Mercedes Moné, with Athena throughout 2024. Always stands out whenever she's around. She has hard-hitting matches, chops the hell out of people's chests. She had a hard-hitting matchup with Timeless Toni Storm. How I remember is because Timeless Toni Storm's chest has never looked that red in her life. So yeah, Emi Sakura always stands out whenever she appears, but it's been mostly sporadic due to kind of being in the latter stages of her career.
Latter stages of her career. She's old, is what you're saying. Gotcha. Mid. She's solid. She's a nice hand. I'm with you. Go ahead,
all right.
To the back.
Another one of our favorites here at AE Ramble, Harley Cameron. Like we were part of the Harley, we were in the Harley Cameron bandwagon way before a lot of folks. We was like first time we saw her in the ring, we was like, how many she has? She's nothing. I thought she would be horrible. Oh my god! And then just her and her character, her charisma. She really is kind of like the all elite wrestling answer to Chelsea Green in like maximizing her minutes, having the backstage segments that always make you laugh, always make you remember it at the end of the day. And they've also given her the opportunity to get those reps in the ring, which was so important for her. They've used her in Ring of Honor. They've used her in AEW. She's versus the likes of Timeless Toni Storm, Kris Statlander. They had her over in ROH. She has a nice little slow burn story going on with Rachel Ellering. She's been over in AEW as late in one of the funniest late season contenders for funniest feuds of the year with Thunder Rosa, where we were introduced to the newest character, Harley Graham, which is her cousin from Mexico. So like, see, it's just Harley Cameron is just entertainment personified. What do you think?
She's splendid. I don't know how. Can I see the top of the list again? I mean, I guess I can't force it to be an all-star, but the mid-card to me looks good. She is one of my favorite things on TV. Whenever she shows up, I pep up. She's been great.
Yes. She has really, we're seeing her evolve before our eyes, which is nice to see because not a lot of times we see someone start off or first time or first experience seeing them in AEW and to see them improve this fast is very rare.
True. She's great. She's fantastic.
Next up, oh man, we go from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Boy.
Camille. Camille came into the company in July, one of the free agents, a lot of free agent signings in AEW, which we're going through. We've already named a couple of them. Camille was one of them who came in the summer. She immediately aligned with Mercedes Mone, the TBS champion, as her bodyguard, as her heater. And it was going well for about a month or so. And then she got kicked out during the matchup with Britt Baker. I think she got kicked out again during the matchup with Karashida at All Out. Then when we started the feud with Kris Statlander, they just decided to basically bankrupt her character in any single way to build up Kris Statlander. And she became a bubbling idiot, a Bullwinkle character who had been undefeated for most of her run in AEW, loses to Kris Statlander, and then she's running into walls. So,
oh, you describe it like that. This is on the rougher side. I feel very bad for Camille. You can imagine you're going to be attached to the biggest, though not literally biggest, the monetarily biggest woman in the company. Things are going to go up. They did not go up. They went down pretty fucking fast too. And like not a little bit down, like a way down. Holy shit. I wouldn't be shocked if we've never seen AEW again. Or maybe once she gets beat and that's it. I can't see how this goes well. I don't want to say mid because it's not her fault. She's not always hurt. I don't want to say contract not renewed, though I gotta be honest. This is a judging of the year, right? This is not judging of talent.
Yes.
Contract not renewed. I'm calling it. This year's heinous. This is an awful year. This is the worst year we got here so far, right? We can agree.
Yes. Bro, like as far as like where we had potential wise and where they landed, yes.
Good Lord. Shocking.
I just realized that this is in alphabetical order, first with the women and then with the men. Okay. I was like, oh, all of this is women. Okay, all right. No, next we have Hikaru Shida, the self-proclaimed ace of the AEW women's division. She's another one that kind of got used more as like sporadically. She would have her stints where she was prominently used in the women's division, gaining momentum. She had her title opportunities, whether it be against Mercedes Mone, which was a good match and a not so good match in terms of her two outputs against Mercedes Mone. She had her run-ins with Mariah May in the Owen Hart Cup. She got into the AEW Women's World Title scene as well, but nothing kind of stuck with Hikaru Shida throughout 2024. Kind of probably her weakest year in her run in AEW so far. What did you think?
If we remove her name, right, this is Anna Jay's year, like to a T, is it not? Wherever Anna Jay is, that's where she is. I'm sorry. Them be the rules.
You might be right. Yeah, sucks. It sucks, but that's the year. That's it. I am just stating the facts of these people year. The biggest memories that came to my head off the top. I don't have no script, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know. Got no script. I'm just saying off the top of my head what I remember about their 2024. Next up, we got Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter finally, after Jimmy denied it, I was like the prophet or the apostle Peter who was telling you that no, you were Peter and you denied Jesus so many times that Jim was coming back. But Jamie Hayter did come back at All in London on the pre-show, interrupting Saraya. That led into a rivalry with the Outcast, both Saraya and Harley Cameron over the next couple of months. She defeated Saraya at Grand Slam. She then went into a mini feud with Penelope Ford, took care of her a couple of weeks ago on AEW Dynamite. had a hell of a late contender banger to add to her year with Willow Nightingale. I forgot to tell you, that's another one to add to your list of stuff I tell you, matches to watch. They had a banger on Collision this past Saturday, the December 14th edition of AEW Collision in the finals of the qualifier for the International Women's Cup at Wrestle Dynasty. So she added that to her list. She started up a rivalry with Julia Hart to end the year as well. Came back with a new look, a new feel that wasn't loved by everybody. But I think that kind of like all the talk of like, I think when she comes back on the pre-show, everybody was like, "Oh man, they're discrediting, they're underrating Jamie Hayter." And then when she's in these kind of mini feuds, everybody's like, "Oh man, why is she not back in the title scene?" But I think that we have kind of grown into kind of this middle ground where people are just like, okay, for now this is where she's at, but I think that AEW have been positioning her, have been giving her enough TV time that tells us they do know what they have with Jamie Hayter. They saying like, okay, not right now, but soon.
That's pretty good. Yeah, she's clearly valued, though maybe not a spot for her just yet. Rather mellowish, if I had to put the word to it. I'm going to say deserves better. First of all, because she does, number one. And number two, I can't quite go as high as I would like. It is what it is. She was out most of the year. She deserves better.
That's fair. Can't complain that. We haven't had any disagreements yet, which is good. But I see a person at the end of our table here, at the end of this row, that may cause us to have some dispute. Next up, we have someone else who got injured in 2024, who was out for a lot of 2024, which is, wait, let me double check here. Why do they have, I think they have Camille twice here. This looks like Camille next to her, but I'll fix that. I'll just ignore that. I'll slide it down the list. Next, we have Julia Hart, who was the TBS champion to start 2024. She was in a couple of good matches against Kris Statlander and Willow Nightingale in the tag team feud with her and Sky Blue. She did drop the TBS championship to Willow Nightingale at AEW Dynasty after suffering an injury, and she's been out of action for the last couple of months. But on the aforementioned December 14th edition of AEW Collision, after Jamie Hayter dropped the tournament final for the International Women's Cup to Willow Nightingale, it was Jamie Hayter who made a return, dropped Jamie Hayter. Julia Hart dropped Jamie Hayter with the DDT, laying her out, making her return to a pretty good pop from the fans. So not a lot to go by for 2024. Kind of a niggas always hurt year.
Sounds good to me. I like Julia Hart a lot. She's improved quite a bit. Was that Match Revolution? Was that the triple threat?
No. The triple threat that she won the title was Full Gear last year.
Damn, it was forever ago.
Yeah.
She's hurt quite a bit. Which is not surprising because in her slender frame. I get Mercedes vibes.
True. I do get that as well. Next up, we have Karen Jarrett. She was in Jeff Jarrett's corner.
Yeah, you know where you go. Right next to Camille. No disrespect. Trying to save a few bucks here.
Where's the other Camille? Yeah, the other Camille. You go next to Camille. I don't know why you're here twice, but you both go in there. I don't know.
Pre Mercedes and post Mercedes. Oh.
That's hilarious. Kira Hogan is here. I don't know why, because she hasn't been around lately. She was around the early part of the year, mostly on Ring of Honor. She was used in the ROH Women's TV title tournament. I think she did team up a bit with Red Velvet in the early part of the year, but not much lately. I don't know if she's injured. I think she might be.
Oh, he was hoping. You put niggas always hurt.
Yeah, we'll put her in niggas always hurt, just in case she is injured. All right, got an interesting one here. Kris Statlander. So Kris Statlander started off the year, of course, in the group, one of our favorite groups, low key of 2024. Stokely Hathaway, Willow Nightingale, and Kris Statlander as a unit. This was during their feud with Julia Hart and Sky Blue. This led to Willow winning the TBS championship at Dynasty over Julia Hart, and then led into her rivalry with Mercedes Moné. Willow lost the TBS championship to Mercedes at Double or Nothing, and then post-match, Kris Statlander turned heel, turning her back on Willow Nightingale alongside Stokely Hathaway. It led to a months-long rivalry between the two. They had a couple of really good matches on AEW Dynamite, and then finally had one of the very best women's matches of 2024, the Chicago Street Fight at All Out, a brutal encounter that everyone remembers as pretty much both women's best match of their career. From there, this is where we kind of get the low point of Kris Statlander's year, because she went from that high, winning the feud with Willow as a heel, to having this weird babyface turn where they had an off-screen basically breakup, a split between her and Stokely. She turned babyface, started feuding with Mercedes Moné. All in this feud and build up to Mercedes Moné at Full Gear involved the booking malpractice that was Camille, that landed Camille in our lowest tier. But it did conclude with Mercedes Moné having her best match in her AEW run so far against Kris Statlander at Full Gear. And now Kris Statlander is still after the TBS championships. He said in a promo this week. So it looks like, I think that what I said after Full Gear, I was like, this match was so good. I want to see more of it. And I want Kris Statlander to be the woman that beats Mercedes for the TBS title. From the promo we got from Kris, it looks like that might be her focus going into 2025. What have you thought about Kris Statlander in 2024? I think that, I don't know, I didn't look to make sure where she landed in 2023, but I would have to say she's higher than what she landed in 2023, even though 2023 was a great year for her with her TBS title.
Yeah. As a babyface, I found her lacking. Before she turned heel, I found it lacking, like sign language. I mean, great, it's nice, I guess, but not exactly a character. I enjoyed her heel work, mostly because Stokely's hilarious, but I thought she really found her groove, ironically, at Camille's expense. I mean, that to me is the best version of Statlander, which is Powerhouse. That said, I finally felt like she reached her potential in 2024. I'm going to say, what's up above deserved better? Mid card.
I would say she's our first All-Star.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, she's significantly above the other two. We gotta go All-Star.
We got our first All-Star on the board. Kris Statlander is up here. What a year. Yeah, going over it and remembering stuff. That's why I like doing this stuff, because to go over the memories that I remember is like, damn, this person had a really good year. Had a real good year when you go over. Next up, we got Lela Hirsh. I hate to be like the whole Karen Jarrett one, but not much here. She had a couple of matches. She had a big significant move in her career as she paired up with Top Flight, became the flight attendant for Top Flight.
Lela Gray.
Lela Gray. Oh, I said Lela Hirsh. I'm sorry. Lela Gray. Lela Gray. Yeah, she paired up with Top Flight in the fall of 2024, becoming the flight attendant for their act, really kind of completing their act. And they have been involved in getting some TV time in storyline. The whole kind of split between their group with Lio Rush and Action Andretti, with Lela Hirsh, excuse me, I keep calling her Lela Hirsh. Lela Gray, right in the middle of things, right in the thick of things. She has been getting reps inside the ring as well. So what have you thought about Lela Gray's 2024?
I don't know, but how high can we go? Because good Lord, she fine as fuck. That's got to earn you some serious points. All-Star, maybe. Main eventer. We'll see what we can do for her. Because good Lord. I'm sorry. Focus. We're focused.
He was like, I don't know what my boss told me to do, but I'll help you to your car, man.
I mean, she's not hurt, and we can't release her. We can't release Lela. We just can't do that. So I guess mid, I suppose. That's all I got for you.
Seems about.
She got some TV time with the uncharismatic Negroes. All 4 of them. Top Flight, Andretti, Leo
Rush got charisma.
He's got some charisma. We'll give it to Leo. With the other 3.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. And look at that. Look at that. I kept saying her name. She appears. Lela Hirsh is here. Lela Hirsh, she was active on the ROH roster for most of 2024 into the summer. She had that really good rivalry that I mentioned before with Diamante, featuring that great Texas death match at Death Before Dishonor, but she unfortunately got hurt in that matchup. She just recently made a return, and now she's going to be challenging Red Velvet for the Ring of Honor World TV Championship at Final Battle, so might finally walk out with some gold in Ring of Honor coming up to end 2024. So where do you think Lela Hirsh lands?
How long was she out?
4 months.
What do you think? I don't want to be rude.
I think that's a third of the year, so I think we can go niggas always hurt.
Sure. Sounds good to me. The fucking 4'8" shoot fighter. Sure. Always hurt. Absolutely. What would you even do with it? Hey, take it easy.
Madison Rain, what are you even doing here?
She's still with the company?
Yes, she is. She just appeared on ROH like last week.
Okay.
All right, here comes a big one. Mariah May. Involved in not even close the best woman storyline of 2024. I'm sorry, Rhea Liv. Y'all peaked after SummerSlam. I would say the best woman storyline that peaked at the right time when it was supposed to conclude is Mariah May versus Timeless Toni Storm. This year, she won the Owen Hart Memorial Cup, becoming the third winner of the tournament, which led into her getting a title shot at All In. But that also led into one of the best heel turns of 2024, where she turned on Timeless Toni Storm, busted her open, stabbed her in the head with the heel, told her to watch for the shoe, turning into this vicious vixen who kind of will literally seduce you with her eyes before she stabs you right in the back, type of woman. She beat Timeless Toni Storm at All In, the biggest show of the year. She hasn't had the most prominent run as AEW Women's World Champion, but whatever she's been given, I think she's done well with. She's done well enough with what she's needed to do. She had a great match with Willow Nightingale at Wrestle Dream. She had a very good match with Mina Shirakawa on AEW Winter is Coming. So she has retained. She's had multiple title defenses, had a pretty good rivalry on TV on Collision against Anna Jay. So Mariah May has done the work. I think that probably in any other world, if it wasn't for the big accomplishments that she has, becoming the AEW Women's World Champion, winning the Owen Hart Cup, the rivalry with Timeless Toni Storm, if you remove all of that, she deserves better because she is so talented, and her push after winning the championship should have been better. But I think she's easily an all-star, maybe even higher. What do you think?
Right. She's almost the very definition of deserve better, but she's a keep-it-all-cost talent who's been given fucking mid-level work after that fantastic heel turn and run. But she's so good. She's got to be an all-star. I wish I could go higher because she deserves it.
Yeah.
But
I think if her title run had been better, she's a main event. At the very least. She got to go above Kris.
Yeah.
So yes, she's now our top all-star now on the tier. Oh, here's an interesting one. Marina Shafir. So Marina Shafir started off the year over on Ring of Honor. And it was kind of weird because, I cover Ring of Honor with Kate over on Fightful, the post show. And we were talking about We were talking about the push that Marina Shafir was getting, where she was getting like these dominant squash victories, and we were always every week being like, but what is it leading to? What is it leading to? Like, is she getting a shot at Athena? Is she going for the Ring of Honor Women's TV title? But no. Come the fall, she appears on AEW television alongside Jon Moxley, introducing a new character for Moxley as she was the female present, the female enforcer of the Death Riders. She is the woman that has been beating the hell out of security guards and staffers backstage, beating the hell and choking out men with her legs backstage, beating up Alex Reynolds. She has been the holder of the AEW World Championship briefcase and has really kind of become one of my favorite parts of an act that has been polarizing for most fans. I think that the part that has worked perfectly for what it's supposed to be has been Marina Shafir in the Death Riders. But what have you thought about her 2024?
Her role is an interesting one. I think she stands out quite a bit. She had great facial expressions, all things considered. And they haven't overdone it. She's violent, and she can choke up fucking Orange Cassidy or fucking Action Andretti. But Jay White will hammer her ass up. So anybody Jay White size and above will hammer her ass up. I really like the way it's done. I'm gonna go above mid. Top of the mid card. Yeah, top of the mid card. I mean, not top because Peraza to have a really good year.
Yeah, or in the middle.
That was good.
Sounds good. Then we got Mercedes Martinez. I believe she's been hurt, so we're just gonna put her in there. All right, here comes the most interesting person that we got to grade their year on.
Superstar.
And yeah, we are grading the all-encompassing year. So that means her TV character and her work over in New Japan Pro Wrestling because they're a partner of AEW, a subsidiary. So I will grade it on that. I'll bring that into the grade. Mercedes.
What grade are we giving Becky Lynch? Oh, it's Mercedes? I couldn't tell.
Mercedes Mone. Mercedes Mone made her debut in AEW with all the pop and circumstance in her hometown of Boston, Massachusetts, at Big Business in March. Had one of the better AEW presentation as far as the debut goes, ending the show, closing the show. They did a whole 2-month build to our first match in AEW against Willow Nightingale at Double or Nothing, where she had a great match against Willow, winning the TBS championship. From there, she went on to had another splendid matchup against Stephanie Becker, the match that led to Stephanie Becker being signed by WWE, ironically. From there, she went into a great rivalry and build-up with Britt Baker. But that led into the down point of Mercedes Moné's run as far as in-ring work goes in 2020. For her and Britt Baker did not deliver in Wembley Stadium at All In. Then she also did not deliver against Hikaru Shida at All Out in Chicago. She also had the whole mess of a build-up to the matchup with Kris Statlander that completely ruined Camille's run in AEW in a lot of ways and ruined her character to a lot of people. But she then turned it around and had a great matchup with Kris Statlander at Full Gear. She is now in a feud with Anna Jay leading up to Holiday Bash. Over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, after beating Stephanie Becker, she became the NJPW Strong Women's Champion. That led into a matchup in the summer. She faced Momo Watanabe at Capital Collision in an excellent matchup, tore it up in the main event there. She went on after Hazuki became the #1 contender for her championship at NJPW Strong Style Evolved, had one of her greatest matches ever in a star-making performance for Hazuki in the main event of that show in Long Beach, California. So I think in the ring, she has delivered, but on screen is another side of the story. Her character hasn't always connected. Her promo work has felt jilted and very scripted, and she has not been a entertaining week-to-week character. So that's why I said she's probably the most interesting case of anyone on our list here that we're going to have to grade their year.
As you were talking, it got less and less complicated for me. To me, she's in whatever tier Mariah May is in for the exact opposite reasons. While Mariah May delivered home runs with the fucking average material and spot she was given, Mercedes will say didn't deliver home runs all the time with the gigantic spot she's given as the only important woman in this company, apparently.
That's fair. That's fair. I really haven't been able to argue with anything that you've been saying. It is what it is.
I will say this. I appreciate the work she's doing apparently outside of AEW.
Yeah. New Japan I think it's because New Japan is pretty much like a house show wrestling promotion at this point, especially with their visits to the US. It's just these one-off shows that they have like every month or every 2 months, and they are able to just present her as a star, put her in the main event, put her in the big stage, and she delivers. She's one of the greatest female big match performers in wrestling history. So if you put her in that position, she always knocks it out the park. Most times, notwithstanding the whole Brit all in.
Yeah. Wow, that's a hell of a compliment. I assume Charlotte's the other one on that list.
Yes.
Big match performers go. Yeah.
Yeah. Her, Becky. Yeah. Trish. Next up, we got Mother Wayne, which is another kind of manager one where they haven't done much. She's been with Christian Cage, which she gets the rub from that. So I guess she's better than contract not renewed. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess she goes next to Lela Gray.
Oh, whoa, no. We have to give her credit because she was part of the end of the Adam Copeland feud, because that started at the end of 2023 and it concluded in the spring of 2024. So she was a big part of that. So I'll give her some points for
that. I guess that puts her ahead of Abaddon, but that's about all you're gonna get from me. She had that BBL fucking t-shirt. I'll never forget that. She probably should be fucking released just because of that. Good Lord.
She didn't make the t-shirt.
False advertising like a motherfucker. Good Lord. But hey.
Next up, we got Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose is basically just brought in to get title shots, and then she disappears. She wins squash matches on Rampage or Collision. She goes to Dynamite, and she's here to lose again. That's basically her year. I know she had a matchup with Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Championship. She had a match with Mercedes Mone for the AEW TBS Championship. And she feuded with Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship over in ROH earlier this year. So she's always entertaining when she's on screen, but they very rarely use her, and she's only used here to get 1 or 2 wins against some jobbers and then to lose to the Stars.
Might be time to put her in a different role as, like, I don't want to say a manager, but a manager-esque, because you obviously have no plans for her at all as far as wrestling goes.
She's entertaining. You should have listened to me a long time ago and just paired her with the Bullet Club Gold. Her be the China of the Bang Bang Gang.
Her juice segments could be fucking hysterical.
It will be hilarious.
I like that idea. I'm down.
Where do you think she lands?
Jay White giving her. Bloody hell is this, mate? Oh, how the fucking talks. She's gotta be. She's fucking Emi Sakura. Maybe a slightly buffed version. I'll put her right ahead of her. Or ahead of Abaddon. Your call.
Yeah, that's fair. Ahead of Mother Wayne too. Her and Hikaru Shida are kind of the same.
That's a goddamn shame, but it ain't a lie though.
Yeah. Next up, we have Penelope Ford, who was out most of the year. She literally just came back. She had a mini feud with Jamie Hayter. They had a decent enough matchup on an episode of Dynamite, but that's about it.
Yeah, she's always hurt. I remember her telling us that we must have forgot about her. Yes, we did.
Yeah, we definitely did. Next up, we got Queen Amanada, who has kind of been kind of like the the lesser version of Mariah May as far as like the newer stars to AEW. She hasn't been put in like the prominent position that Mariah May has, but I think that she's been working hard and has stood out in a couple of instances throughout the year, whether it be over in Ring of Honor in the Ring of Honor Women's TV title tournament, making it all the way to the finals against Billie Starkz. Billie Starkz had to turn heel on her, faking a neck injury to actually win the championship and become the inaugural champion. She also feuded with her in Red Velvet as a tag team against Billie Starkz and Athena, leading to another great matchup against Athena at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. She came back to AEW, and she has really been able to kind of stand out in some quick showings, whether it be against Mercedes Moné, whether it be against Kris Statlander. She always is able to show out. She's always been able to kind of stand out. She has that kind of charisma to herself, hard-hitting style in the ring. I like Queen Aminata. I think she stepped up. She would probably better be if they did like an AEW Rookie of the Year. It would definitely be Mariah. If you would grade Mariah May because she did debut in 2023, but kind of I think she had her first official match this year, so she would count. I think she would be the runner-up to Mariah May.
Ooh, yeah, she carries herself like a star. You can't teach that. I'm gonna deserves better. I mean, that sounds more rude than I would like, but you know what I mean. Yeah, mid card. I can't put her ahead of Jimmy Hayter. Like, I'm gonna lose fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put her at a Diamante.
Yeah.
Next up, whenever I have to zoom in, when I have to lean in to see who they are, it's probably not. It is Rebel, who was not here. She's not hurt, so I don't think
she's not released. She's still on contract.
Apparently, because this was updated apparently at Full Gear 2024.
I'm gonna say she has some type of beef with Britt, because why are they not together? Why they ever stop being together? I'm still very confused.
Sure. I'm gonna put you down here.
I did see that too. I was like, what are they saying about him?
I noticed that like earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till he's closer so I can move him. Next, we got Red Velvet, who did have a good year over on Ring of Honor, mostly being used over there. Like I said before, she was involved in the feud with her and Queen Aminata facing Athena and Billie Starkz. It led into Death Before Dishonor, where she won her first championship gold since being signed with All Elite Wrestling, becoming the second ever Ring of Honor Women's TV champion. Had a nice little Millie feud against Diamante on Ring of Honor TV. And now she's gearing up to defend the Ring of Honor Women's World TV title against Lela Hirsh at Final Battle. So a step up as far as winning a championship, getting a prominent role, although not on AEW TV. At least it's probably where she needs to be if ROH is kind of going to be for like the lesser talent or the talent who are still developing and still improving. I think that's the right spot for Red Velvet. And I like the fact that she became TV champion to show that she has been improving, because I think if she doesn't win championship gold, this is another kind of misstep year for her in her AEW.
How old is Red Velvet? I'm gonna say her mid-20s.
Yeah, she's got to be mid-20s, I would say. I'm going to double check right now. But what do you think?
She's talented.
32 actually.
That's some Bianca Belair action. She's always older than I think. Somebody's gonna clip that. Fucking Red Velvet is as good as Bianca. That's not what I said. It's not even kind of what I said. But yeah, she looks great out and young for her age, apparently. She has improved. I mean, it's almost impossible to put her ahead of Athena. The question is, does she go into the same category with Athena?
I'll say top of mid or bottom of deserve better.
I would agree with that.
What do you think?
Shit. Let me see. All right, we got Sheeta here. Shit. That's good. Like Anna Jay to me is a sticking point.
That's why I put her at the top.
You know what? Bottom of deserve better.
Okay.
Let Diamante if you like.
That sounds good. Cool. Then we got Riho. I mean, niggas always hurt is also niggas always gone. So yeah, Ruby Soho pregnant. So I'm not gonna say hurt, but
right, but
here,
she might as well be.
Saraya was here for a lot of the year. I mean, other than the Jamie Hayter feud, I can't really tell you what prominent stuff she was kind of used in different storylines, but never in like her own. Like she was kind of like a guest star in the whole threesome storyline with Timeless Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa, and Mariah May leading up to Forbidden Door. She was probably using that Jamie Hayter storyline leading up to their Saraya Rules matchup at Grand Slam. So she was used. She's been out since Grand Slam, well, since October, since losing in the 4-way to determine who was going to first Mariah May at Wrestle Dream to Willow Nightingale. But she's not hurt, I don't think.
Was the Ruby Soho, what's his face, Not Daddy Magic thing this year?
Yes, it was. It was the early part of this year. You're right. Yes.
She's mid.
Which was actually more fun. Like I thought about it when you mentioned it. I was like, that was actually way more fun than it had any right to be.
Right? It had its charm to it. It felt very old school to me. Yeah, she's mid. Yeah.
I would honestly put her right behind Anna Jay.
I'd say Saraya still has some charisma about herself. I don't know about her life choices as far as choice of mates go, but she is charismatic. And there was that video with Doja Cat singing.
Oh yes.
That should get her main event spot.
I think that was the beginning of this year. I think so. But next up, we got Serena Deeb, who made her return to start off or the end of 2023 coming into 2024. She did get into title contention, challenging Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship at Double or Nothing. They had a good match there. She came up short. She's been in like little mini feuds, whether it be against Queen Amanada over on Collision. She's been prominently featured on like the television in different spots, but she's more or less kind of in that Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose mode of jobber to the real stars of the division.
Jesus. Goddamn shame. So one of my favorite matches in AEW, and it's not pay-per-view, buy-in history with Rio, whenever that was. How long ago was that? Jesus. That's when Hangman and Brian Cage opened the show. What pay-per-view is that?
Double or Nothing 2021.
Jesus, I was hoping 22 at least.
She's a part of what she's probably a part of my like top, I would say maybe top 5, maybe now like thinking about this year, we have a couple of them that would make the top 5, but like top 10 women's feuds in AEW history, her and Hikaru Shida.
Right. I forgot they did that. That was also great. Unfortunately, the roster has evolved. She's mid, unfortunately.
Put her right next to the crew. This is the crew. the crew of former champions, former top contenders who are now in that mid-range. Jobber to the stars. These are all the people that job to the stars of the division. Like
10-minute TV match. Get it over with.
Sky Blue, you've been out for more than 4 months, so we will put you in. Niggas always hurt. Tai Conti, you had a baby, so niggas always gone. Yuka Sakazaki, you were kind of in that Riho mode of you're barely ever here. Taya Valkyrie, she's kind of had a weird year where she's been more prominently featured on ROH the first half of the year with Johnny TV. They were in fun storyline with Dalton Castle, where they would do some hilarious backstage segments where they stole the boys and then lost the boys. This was around when the boys left the company, so they lost the boys. And so yeah, they were in that fun storyline over on ROH TV. Over in AEW, she paired up with Deonna Purrazzo in the summer. They have now created their new stable called the Vendetta. So not used really prominently, kind of like I'm thinking like a mid here for Taya.
That sounds good. I remember seeing her on Giant TV. They were shockingly entertaining. I can't really explain why.
Definitely agree. Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa made a return at the end of 2023, coming into 2024. She has been kind of one of the prominently featured women over on Collision. She is the queen of Collision over there, having some feuds and rivalries and matches that have stood out throughout this year. She got into title contention around the spring, challenging Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship in an excellent matchup at Dynasty. From there, she got into another great rivalry with Deonna Purrazzo. Really brought the vibes of like the Britt Baker rivalry and like the intensity and the grudge. They had 5 matches on Collision TV and Rampage. I think they had like a bull rope match. They had a lumberjack match. They had they had a Texas Death match. So they went all out. They were brawling all over the place. A lot of fun matches on TV between the two of them. She's found herself in these fun storylines with Harley Cameron as well, beating Harley Cameron, and now she finds herself at the end of 2024 back in title contention. And as of the December 14th AEW Collision, Thunder Rosa will challenge Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Championship, coming up at AEW's final pay-per-view of 2024, World's End, in a Tijuana street fight. And if you know Mariah May, you know this is going to be a physical war. One or both of these women are going to bleed. That should be a lot of fun at World's End. So she's going to close the year out strong. What have you thought about her overall year for Thunder Rosa?
I would not have thought too much of it, mainly because I don't watch Collision because Jack Perry. But what you described, and knowing Thunder Rosa, she's very talented. I didn't see the Harley Cameron stuff. That was hilarious. It feels like an all-star year to me. I can't fault her. Not her fault she's on Collision. It's an all-star year to me.
Yeah, I was thinking either top of mid-card or bottom of all-star. What do you think?
Let's see. Deonna. Statlander. God damn it.
Which does he fit in more
with? Top. I mean, it is Collision. No disrespect. Top of the mid-card.
Let's not go out of control here. It is Collision. Oh man, and probably we're ending off the women with the best two. Look at that. Ending off the women with the best two. Timeless Toni Storm, in my opinion. I think that if you don't have Timeless Toni Storm in your top 3 women's wrestlers of the year, you weren't watching or you're not paying attention to how important she has been to the rise of the AEW women's division. While, Mercedes Moné was the big star signing, Toni Storm, whether Hikaru Shida wants to say it 1,000 times in promos, the real ace of the division is Timeless Toni Storm. She has been the centerpiece of everything. She had her previous runs, but her third reign as AEW Women's World Champion may go down as the greatest in the history of the company. The rivalry and the storyline with Mariah May being the foundation of it all, but probably by like the spring of 2024, really at the start of 2024, the rivalry with Deonna Purrazzo was really well done going into Revolution. They had a decent to solid matchup at Revolution, but then the spring came. She had a really good matchup with Azumi in Collision, and I remember saying it on Collision Discourse. I was like, Azumi found Timeless Toni Storm's working boots. Watch what's about to happen. And then we had Dynasty, great match with Thunder Rosa. We had Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing. Good match there. Forbidden Door, great match with Mina Shirakawa. The finish off and the culmination of the rivalry with Mariah May, so well done with the heel turn, the memorable heel turn on Dynamite, the bitter brawls they would had leading up to All In, and then finally the fantastic matchup they had in Wembley Stadium. From there, she went on an excursion, tried to find herself, She went to Stardom, tore it up over there, had a great match with Mayu Iwatani. Goes to CMLL, has a good match with La Catalina over there. Then she loses herself. She finds herself. She says timeless Toni Storm is retiring. And we get to AEW Dynamite Winter is coming after Mariah May beats Mina Shirakawa. Toni Storm, the OG Toni Storm, the rocker Toni Storm, reappears, returns to close the show. And then we have her appear on both Rampage and Collision. And apparently she has amnesia. She's no more timeless. She's back to the rocker Toni Storm. She does not remember anything about timeless Toni Storm. She announces on Collision that she is now all elite. She thinks that she's starting off her career. She says she's all elite. She goes backstage. She interrupts Thunder Rosa, cutting the promo on Mariah May, and she's like, "Oh my God, Thunder Rosa, so nice to meet you. So nice to meet you. I'm Toni Storm. I'm Tony Schiavone. Oh my God, Tony Schiavone. Nice to meet you. I'm Toni Storm." Oh my God. Are they doing a time cop storyline? Like,
oh my God.
Timeless Toni Storm might be one of the most creative women to ever step foot in the history of the wrestling business.
Earlier this year.
And I didn't even mention all the commentary. Don't even get me started on the commentary. The commentary takes it over the top for me for this year.
Earlier this year, she told Deonna Purrazzo that she should have stalked her right in the box. And to me, that makes you a main eventer at least. Now we just got to figure out how you go. As you pointed out, she's done fantastic work, both in the ring, out of the ring, on CM Punk-esque, in the ring, out of the ring, on commentary. It doesn't matter. I'm that girl in this case. She showed up on Dynamite. I was so happy to see Toni Storm back. I couldn't believe it. Shit. Can we go to the top of the list again? I gotta see the top of the list again. I know we don't have all stars. We don't have any main eventers.
I'll put my vote. She's my first keep at all costs.
You know what? Yeah, I can't fight it. Part of it's probably is it nostalgia because she's in black and white? Part of it's probably nostalgia, but keep it all costs.
I think she's gonna return to the timeless character. I think she's gonna run through all of her characters. She's gonna run through Rocker story, Rocker, Toni Storm, Outcast, Toni Storm, and then eventually get back. Probably by the time we get to Australia for Grand Slam, she'll be back to timeless Toni Storm to face.
Hell of a prediction.
That's my next prediction. See, I'm giving y'all the prediction.
I like the way it looks. She's just so great. Low rocket first, and then like to the moon.
To the moon. Like I said, once Azumi found her working boots in Japan, it was off. It was off. She connected, everything connected, because the bottom half of 2023 was her character was here, but her in-ring work was down here. And then from like the spring, it finally got up. It was like on the same level, and it was just cooking to the end, to all in.
Then she started cutting some fucking, like, I know the stuff is hilarious, the Sock in the Box stuff, but she started cutting some great fucking promos in the middle of the year. Yeah, I like our pick. Tip top.
And then I think we're gonna, we kind of have this kind of gap in our tier list here. My prediction is we might fill the gap because next up is Willow Nightingale. Love
to fill her. All right, I'm not gonna say that.
Oh my God!
Don't say that. It's fucking disgusting.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
That one's on me. I didn't come out though. Kept it clean. Did we not? Did I not keep it clean? Kept it clean.
Oh my God. Willow Nightingale is next up. Willow Nightingale came into 2023 in the feud with Kris Statlander against Julia Hart and Sky Blue. They had some fun tag team matches, fun street fight. I believe that was on Battle of the Belts or AEW Collision. Then from there, she got into a feud with Julia Hart for the TBS Championship after becoming number one contender in a Fatal 4-Way. She won the TBS Championship at Dynasty, found herself in one of the better feuds of the year for AEW with Mercedes Moné leading up to Double or Nothing. Great promo work. That's where I really felt like her promo work really shined, was the feud with Mercedes Moné, where we really saw the character work, the promo work come up with her in-ring skills. We've always known Willow was good in the ring, but she really stepped up her promo and character work during that spring program with Mercedes Moné. Lost the TBS championship there at Double or Nothing. Went into her feud with Kris Statlander throughout the summer, going into the fall. She was into the finals of the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament for the second year in a row, coming up short to Mariah May. Finished off her feud with Kris Statlander, having one of the women's matches of the year at All Out in the Chicago Street Fight. From there, she found herself back into AEW Women's World Title contention, going off having a great matchup with Mariah May at Wrestle Dream, and now she finishes off the year in another banger with Jamie Hayter, and now she's on her way to the Tokyo Dome Wrestle Dynasty January 5th, where she will represent AEW in the International Women's Cup. Along the way, she won the CMLL World Women's Championship at NJPW CMLL's Fantastica Mania USA. She went over to Arena Mexico. She went over to Japan. She's been all over the world winning championship gold. In the last 2 years, no one has had a bigger jump, a bigger elevation in all the women's division than Willow Nightingale. 2024, though, where do you have her?
She's had a fantastic year. She's been fantastic in and of herself. The booking has been not terrible, we'll call it. Uneven, maybe, but mostly solid. She's always got a prime position. I can't quite go as high as Toni Storm because I thought Toni's booking has been significantly stronger, as has the Focus since she's been the champion. Main eventer. She's great, and she should be the face of this division moving forward.
Agreed. She's that good. Like, seriously. Main eventer. That's why I was like, yeah, that's filling the gap. I was like, Willow's the main eventer. These three as the all-star. Yeah, this fits. This is really like between mid-card to there. I was like, yep, that pretty much is the year.